What if we are watching something like this? What if the price action is going to print like this? That means on the macro, we are watching history repeating or at least rhyming itself. When the Bitcoin dominance highlight the fact that it's dropping, yes, we do understand that it is at a support level, but if it breaks 48%, that means now you have enough room for the altcoins to run. Whenever we have seen such a dramatic drop in the Bitcoin dominance, historically we have seen the altcoins popping. And we do understand that those who utilize this bluff of the market is going to be rewarded well enough, but that doesn't mean you will see a direct candle popping to the upside. Most likely, you may see a retest. That can be another opportunity for those who missed the first one, and then a bounce off. If that's going to be the biggest opportunity, make sure you have an edge in the market. So before you go into the details, let's go in and see how things may evolve. Let's go and look what the possibilities are in this market, because we do see a lot of these kind of posts. We do see how things are evolving. We do understand that the narrative is being set in, and we are watching how the real economy is working. So let's jump into that. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now, we're going through a lot of different assets in the crypto market because we would like to see how the price action is evolving so that we have an edge in the market. Because if you are in one of these assets and you have a doubt what that's doing, these macro and micro kind of give you the idea where it is now, so that you right now understand, okay, this came from this area and it is at this point now. Most likely it's about to go into this direction. So if you are interested in such things, look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. Now, just jump into this. Great. The price action actually shows you this following history, right? When we zoom in, we do see the last time when we moved up, the short-term pattern kind of matched up with the fib. Now, I use fib for the short-term movements, especially in XRP. It usually never end up positive in a macro environment. We have always seen such movements. You take the bottom and you get nowhere near the top. Now, whether you take it each and every time or whether you go for the macro, micro, you never come close to that. So if you actually take that understanding and then follow up the micro levels, because for XRP, precisely, it's acting in such a way, and then we assume this is the local bottom. Wow, that's actually a good number we are looking at, because that means the next run up can be somewhere close to $2. Now, let me ask you a question. If you didn't take profit last time at $2, will you be taking it this time around? That will become an important question as we go up, because last time I heard a lot of people saying, if I had taken more. So let's be realistic and then look at the price action, the targets, and the future. So if this is true, that means the fiat currency is about to depreciate massively, and we are already watching that. That's what the inflation is. But then we want to see, okay, that's the macro picture. That's how we are going. But on the short-term narrative, we may still have a possibility where the price action slows a little bit down and then bounce off. So yeah, on a 4-hour chart, it can be a little bit too much to understand. But then if you actually look at it on a daily chart, we kind of see like a massive candle to the downside where the wick was too long, right? We all agree on that point. Now, the weekly candle has not yet close, so that means it still has time to go back up a little bit and close at that range. So if we take that narrative and go back in the history, we do understand some of these times, depending on where you watch, whether it's at the top of a cycle or at the bottom, you always see that these kind of wicks to the upside kind of creates a push to the upside. That gives the price action some room, but sometimes it come back down, try to retest that range before it has a local pump. Now, one of the primary thing inside this is to keep an eye on this level. If the weekly closes in this range and confirms that as a macro breakout, that means you broke higher, you retested that level, and now you're about to bounce off. That means macro opportunity is something which you really don't want to miss. Even with all these volatility in the market, you're not watching a change in the macro direction. You're just watching a retest in the macro. There is nothing wrong with a retest. Look at how the price action was moving before. What is it doing? You have that consolidation after the initial breakout from this range, and then you have the next breakout. Yeah, you are repeatedly testing that range, but that's not bad. What if you're going to reverse and pump? That is a probability or a huge possibility, as I think, in the market right now, because a lot of people now start thinking about the possibility of a lower low in the Bitcoin. While we look at the macro narrative and the crypto Twitter, or the X for that matter, right now people are discussing the possibility of Bitcoin dropping towards $15,000 to $18,000. That's still alive in the market. Great. What does that actually mean? A lot of people are starting to think that the probability is increasing for this to go back down. So keep in mind, if we break this level, that's a double top. That's negative. So we really don't want the price action to break this territory. So if we are not breaking, say somewhere close to 24,500, that's still macro bullish. It can actually become a double bottom or a consolidation and a bounce after the initial rally. So what we are watching here is where this RSI bounce back. Because if it can actually bounce back at this range, I would say that's bullish. And right now when you zoom in, yeah, we need the weekly close. We are watching how things are going to evolve. But if we do respect this price action, that means, okay, we have a lot of room to the upside. But if we do drop a big leg to the downside, by the time the RSI reach this range, it may not be good for the entire market. But keep in mind, even during that time, if the Bitcoin dominance is dropping, that doesn't really matter for a lot of these altcoins, because in the market you're watching, say you have a lot of different assets which are slowly grinding up. Say, if you look at Thorchain or Rune, we had our calls for the breakout at 1.4. Before that, the initial run up for at 1.2, and we are getting to the targets. And I'm literally watching people sending me screenshots of different big accounts saying, I'm shorting this asset at this level. I'm shorting this asset at this level. Like, it's completely up to you what you decide. But always make sure your trade, if you do decide to enter a trade, is in the direction of the macro pattern. Because I posted this for you guys before saying, guys, look at this. If it's breaking through, this is the target. Because for me, this was the pattern and this was the breakout. So this is a short-term move resistance which you need to break, and I think it's going to blow through. Why? Because your target is somewhere here. And yes, in YouTube, in Twitter, our account is small. But that means those who follow us has the ability to get onto this. Now, this is already posted there maybe 12 hours before. I'm just opening it up for you guys. And this is what I think. And this is what I gave to my followers. But yeah, I do agree. A lot of people are sending me in the Telegram saying, this guy is a big account and, they have been posting about shorting this. I'm like, it's completely up to them. Each guy has a different perspective. But you have to decide what you are going to follow, what you think is valid. Because if you enter into something like this, ask that question, why are you entering into a pattern like that? For me, I'm looking at the strength. The strength right now shows me that the strength is kind of equivalent to the strength where you were somewhere at $10, $12. Wow. For me, that's a wow. Right now, the price is at $1.7. That means enough bulls are in the market. Now, what do you want to look to validate or reinforce that. Is there enough volume? Go look at the volume, Baba. This is something you cannot miss one way or the other. If the strength is high and the volume is there, that means that strength is not a fake out, it's a breakout. Don't miss it. I mean, you need to have time, you need to have patience, but you need to know where to enter, where not to enter. And if you are shorting, the max you can gain is 100% move to the downside. Now, if you are levered, yeah, that goes up, but the actual measured move never goes above 100. The long side here is showing you a macro bullish side, and you're going to short that. For some reason, I cannot agree with that ideology, but you guys do get the point. Yes, this may get rejected at some point. Yes, this may actually go back down from some point, but what are we looking? Not at this range. If that's 3.3 and you shorted this asset at 1.6, boom, no way you're going to hold on to that. Either you sell your house, your car, and everything and put it in the margin, or you just cut your losses, right? And that's usually what's going to happen in the market. So right now when the Bitcoin dominance is dropping, watch for assets which are running against a Bitcoin. Watch for assets which are breaking through. That's the most important thing right now. And that's exactly why we are doing this Ask for TA session right now, so that everyone can ask what they really want and I go through them one by one. Now that's a long list I'm going through. It may take time, but I'm trying to make sure that you guys actually get to see all these which you really have in your portfolio and what you want to know. Why? Because think about this. If XRP is about to do something like this, do you think it's just going to do it on its own? No. There is going to be a lot of other coins inside the same market which will pop off. So make sure if you're 100% XRP, great, cool, that's up to you. But if you do have 10%, 20% in other different assets, you want to make sure some of them or most of them will be ending up on the winning side, or at least not the losing side. If you manage to identify, okay, these are most likely the losers, remove them. You don't have to pick the winners. You still get the average ROI in the market or something above that if one of them explodes. You don't lose in that. That's what investing is about. You're trying to match your risk to reward based on your risk-bearing potential. Not everyone has the same risk-bearing potential. So when you look at the market, especially when you are looking at XRP and saying, okay, this asset can run this high, imagine some of the other assets are going to blow off. Imagine some of these assets will run up. And with the macro news fundamentals, everything that we are watching, yes, these kind of triangles, they break higher and they go nuts. And XRP usually does that. We have always watched how the price action in XRP happens. You directly go nuts. Great. That means even right now, what we are looking forward to is something similar. If you just extend this, this is what you're watching. Your ROI is, you're going to pop through. That means crypto market is also going to join that party. You just have to understand not every coin in this market is going to participate. You need to see which of these assets are now trending down, not on a 24 hours, not on a 7-day. Go on to the return rates, go look at the last 30 days and take them where they are negative. Now look at what the macro is showing you and the micro is showing you. If the macro is trending higher and the micro is down, that's opportunity. Whereas if the macro is 10x, and you are already 100% up this week, this month, maybe it's going to correct at some point and you may end up at the local top. You want to try to get in at a local bottom, not at a local top. That's again one of the reasons why we are going through all these different assets. So I give you guys the right perspective, what I think is right. I can be wrong for sure, but I want to give you guys that this works. So if you do want to learn something, and you're watching this channel and you're happy that you're learning something, please do hit that like button for me. That kind of supports the channel a lot. That helps the YouTube algorithm. And if you do drop some comments, that kind of helps massively. That shows YouTube algorithm that you guys love this video and you're interacting with this. Now, I'm watching people watching, say 5,000, 6,000 people or 3,000, 5,000 people watching this video, whereas I get maybe 10% of the likes. And I'm like, okay, 90% people are watching this, maybe they don't like this. And I'm like, okay, why is that so? If you have different opinion to say improve the channel one way or the other, let me know in the comment section below. There is no offense, right? It's just your opinion and my opinion. If that matches with the majority, we will try to improve on that basis. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.